One more twist and hold. Place the ball down on the floor in front of you and bring your front hand to the opposite knee. Twist a little further by pushing on the knee and maybe rolling the ball in some kind of way to allow you to twist more. Take a big inhale here and exhale, just hold and get taller. 2 more breaths, inhale. As you exhale, pull the rib cage in towards each other. 1 more breath here. Can you roll that ball a little bit further back behind you? And then grab onto that ball, come up and back to center. Bring the ball into the opposite hand. Arms go out to the side. And now we're gonna twist to the left and twist and come center. Noticing if one side is a little bit harder or tighter than the other, that is normal. Don't force it, but use your eyes to help you. So if you feel like you're stuck, take your eyes in your eye socket and your chin over towards that left shoulder to add a little rotation. Let's go 3 more just like this. Make sure you're inhaling in the center to get tall. Exhale, wringing out your waist. Last one here, when you twist to the left, you hold. Ball goes on the floor behind you, front hand goes on the opposite knee. Look over that shoulder and just grow tall, and then twist a little bit further and use the hand on the thigh for a little leverage, and then either push the ball away from you without leaning back, or pull that ball behind you like you're trying to hide it from your eyes. Lift a little taller, inhale, hold and exhale. 2 more breaths, keep the eyes over the shoulder. I'm just looking to you so I make sure you can hear me. 1 more breath here. Once you've taken that inhale, grab that ball and exhale and come back center. Bringing that ball down to the floor by your side. Take a big lateral flexion as you bring that ball over and push it away. And then come all the way back up. We're staying on the same side. Inhale, get tall. Exhale, up and over. Squeezing those sits bones together like your mat is hot and on fire. Like trying to hold in a little gas there. Up and over. Try not to let that arm sag. I want to see that arm nice and long and as close to the bicep as you can once you get over into lateral flexion. 1 more here. Take a nice big inhale. Exhale, go up and over. Hold. Bring the top hands behind the head and just try to glance towards your top elbow, maybe rotating your chest a little towards the ceiling for 3. Can you make sure your sits bones are still down? 2. And on 1, arm goes back, you look forward, we come up, grab the ball. Bring the ball to the other hand, do the other side. Bring the right hand onto the mat and push the ball away as you go up and over. If you just have a pillow, you can, if it doesn't roll or whatever you have doesn't roll, just put your hand on the floor and bend your elbow instead. The point is that your spine is laterally flexing and we're opening up the rib cage towards the ceiling, making a big rainbow shape with the arm. Once you get over, try to bring the bicep as close to the ear as you can, but keep your right shoulder away from the ear. For 2 more here, gaze forward, don't look down, nothing exciting. Well, I don't know, I'm not at your house. And for 2, maybe there is. And 1, go up and over and hold. Top hand goes behind the head, rotate towards the ceiling, eyes to the top elbow. Hold for 3, try to twist the chest towards the ceiling. 2, don't move the ball. 1, reach the arm back overhead to face forward and come all the way on and up. Very good job. All right, turn on your mat if you need to. I want you to bring your legs out in front and you're gonna bring that ball between your inner thighs. Feet can either rest flat or you can balance those on the heels, but just have the knees bent for some articulations. Start with your hands behind the thighs and start tall. As you inhale and then exhale, you curl the pelvis, so don't lean back, but tuck your tail and start to roll down until you feel those abs start to shake and quake a little bit, and then scoop your belly and come back up to sit tall. Inhale here, exhale, roll back, gently squeezing the ball, nothing too tight, and then come back all the way up. Continue like that. If you want to advance the arms, you can bring hands across the chest. You can bring the arms out in front of you. Let's keep them not behind the head quite yet. We're just warming up. Let's go 2 more here. 1 more here. When you roll back down, you're going to stay there, hold, and try to squeeze that ball in and in. Now, as you're squeezing in, try to push down through the foot, whether it's the whole foot or the heel for 5 and 4. Gaze at the ball, shoulders back, 3 and 2. On 1, squeeze the ball and come all the way up. Take a nice big inhale. Let's see if we can go a little bit further. So as you curl that pelvis underneath of you and articulate down, maybe you make it to the rib cage. As you come up, squeeze that ball for help. Inhale to prepare, exhale to roll back, shoulders from the ears. Inhale here and use the exhale and the squeezing of the ball to come up. Let's do 2 more just like that. The last one will stay down there. Make sure the ball is squeezing and your big toes are pressed into the floor. One more here. Roll back to that sweet spot if you can. Get to those ribs and hold the ball steady as you twist right and center and left and center. Imagine a ball between your hands and try to keep that space the same. Look over the shoulder like there's something cool behind you for 3 and for 2. Come to the center on 1 and roll all the way back up and sit nice and tall. We're going to take 8 slow counts to roll all the way down. You can bring your hands to the thighs, across the chest, or continue to reach forward. Lift up tall, take an inhale. I'm going to do this today. And then exhale, curl the pelvis and start to roll back for 8, 7. Try to count how many vertebrae you have as you go back. There'll be a quiz after today's class. For 6 and 5 and 5 and 5 and 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Lengthen the arms all the way back and the legs out long if that feels good for your back. Just take a nice big good morning stretch. All right, taking it right into some bridging today. So bringing your arms by your side and bending those knees so your feet are right in line with your sits bones. If you feel like your ball is not already getting a squeeze, heel toe your feet a little closer together. And try to bring the ball more between your inner thighs than your actual knee joint forming. From here, we're just going to rock the pelvis forward and backwards. So I want you to tip your pelvis like there's a bowl of soup in your pubic bone, and you're spilling it into your belly button. Your sits bones gently lift off the floor. And then push your pelvis in the opposite direction, spilling the soup between your thighs. And then now your sits bones are pressing more down and you have more space under your lower back. If you need to put your hands on your hips to feel that, you're welcome to do so, but start to stretch the lower back as you curl the pelvis. And then stretch the abs as you arch. When we find a nice neutral position, we're going to find it between each of these positions. We're not going to find the imprint or the arch. Those are the wrong parts. One more here, make your pelvis as neutral as you can, trying to find the in-between spot between the arch and the imprint where you have just enough space to slide a finger or so under your lower back. From here, keeping your spine nice and long, push down with all 10 toes and boost your hips up for your first bridge. Inhale at the top, and as you squeeze the ball, exhale to lower down. It's really easy to squeeze the ball on the way up because it gives us assistance, but on the way down, we like to give gravity a little bit of the work, but I want you to squeeze the ball more on the down than the up. Inhale to boost up, take more time to lower down than you did to lift. If it's in your practice to articulate your spines, I pretty much saw everybody's names in here and recognized them all, so if you want to articulate that spine, curl that pelvis and go up. If for some reason you have a herniated disc that I don't know about, or osteoporosis has come your way in the last 50 days that I haven't seen you, please stay flat back. On the next one, no rush to get there. Maybe reach the arms a little longer and open the chest prouder. Lift up and hold. Start to squeeze in gently on the ball, but don't unsqueeze. Just squeeze a little more and squeeze a little more. Now, as you're squeezing, try to roll the shoulders back. I want you to disassociate between the discomfort in your legs and try to focus on head-to-toe Pilates. Reaching the crown of the head back energetically, chins off the chest. Shoulders are cemented to the floor and arms and fingers are reaching long. All 10 toes are pressed into the mat and your hips are as high as you can, making as flat of a line as you can across the hip flexors. If that's not available, it's okay. For 4 more squeezes, and for 3, can you pull the tummy in a little bit more? For 2, and for 1, hold, take a big inhale, and either lower the spine flat or melt down bone by bone by bone. Very good job. Take a nice big inhale, and as you exhale, I forgot to tell you, change your feet to Pilates stance. Heels together, toes apart. Try to keep the feet and the big toes as flat as you can. And then go back to your bridging. You can continue articulation, or if it felt better for you to go flat back, take that option instead. But if you go to articulation, make sure that when you come to the neutral spine, you're not overarching, and you're actually coming to neutral, you're not leaving a slight tuck of your tail. I want you to feel both of those hip bones go down underneath of you. Let's do a couple more just like this, squeezing that ball as much on the way up as you are on the way down. Reaching the arms long, checking in with that upper body. On the last one, we lift up and hold and stay there. Try to keep the left leg steady as you squeeze the right leg in and in and in. The key here is also keeping your heels squeezing super tight together. When you squeeze in, don't let the feet and the big toes rock on the floor. If you want to add challenge, lift your heels and give me 5 more squeezes. 4, 3, 2. On 1, if your heels are lifted, lower them down. Take your hips halfway down and all the way up. Halfway down, yes, we will do the other leg, and all the way up. Consider this your break, but as you lower down, don't unsqueeze the ball. Just kind of give gravity a little bit of help, or the gravity is giving us a little bit of help. 2 more here, pressing the feet heavy, big toes down, heels together. 1 more lift and hold. Squeeze the left leg in and in. Notice if one side is more wiggly than the other. Try to keep the feet flat. The feet are going to try to shift to give you a bigger squeeze. I don't care how big it is. You probably can barely even see me squeezing. Let's go 5 more here. If you want to lift the heels, go right ahead for 4, 3, hips high, 2, on 1 big squeeze, and this time we pulse the hips up an inch, up an inch. You can leave the heels lifted or put them back down. 5, 4, squeeze the ball, 3, and 2. On 1, inhale at the top, and exhale, melt your spine on and down. Very good job. All right, take your ball and set it off to the side for just a moment, bringing your feet back into that same position. If you want to add a little bit of challenge, you can squeeze the legs together. If your hips are tight like mine today, open fist distance. From here, boost your hips up just 1 time and stay there for marching, bringing 1 leg in towards tabletop and then placing it right back down. Try to articulate your foot onto the floor the same way that you articulate your spine in bridging. The toes, the ball of the foot, the arch, and the heel. As you go along, when you put the foot down, try to imagine that someone is from your ceiling lifting your hips with strings. Give me 5 more seconds here, nice and slow. And for 4, nothing fancy, just getting the glutes warmed up for 3. Exhale, pull the tummy in, 2. On your last one, even yourself out, hold. Inhale at the top, open the shoulders wider, and then lower down bone by bone or flat spine until your pelvis touches down. Good job. Cross the right leg over the left, pull it in, take piriformis stretch. Oh, that should feel good. Flex your feet if it bothers your knees here. It's always healthy. You can rock or curl up, that adds stretch. And then take that same stretch to the other side. Notice if one side's tighter than the other, just notice, don't judge it. Good, just bringing awareness to our body as part of your exercises today. Alrighty friends, you're gonna grab your ball back, bring your feet flat to the mat. Try to find that neutral pelvis again. If you have to curl a few times and uncurl, you can go ahead and do that. But holding on to the ball with a neutral spine, reach the arms up towards the ceiling. Try not to have the ball over your face. I want that ball more over your chest, as though if you were to bend your elbows, it would tap your sternum, right where your xiphoid process is, right where we give CPR. From here, with the arms nice and long, hovered over that spot, I want you to round the shoulders away from the mat for protraction, and then squeeze your shoulders and press them down to the mat for retraction. Protraction and retraction. Try to flatten and broaden your shoulder blades across the mat as you're doing this. If you need to, soften the elbows. You can do this with bent elbows, but make sure the elbows are not changing shapes. Just the shoulder blades are moving up and down. When you squeeze and press the shoulder blades down, also imagine you're trying to squeeze the mat together. Give me 3 more here. And for 2. Whew. And for 1, bring the shoulders back and down. Start to take the arms back behind you, and as soon as you start to feel the ribs pop out or maybe the back start to arch, you've gone too far. If you can go all the way to the floor, I'm a little jealous today. From here, we're going to do elevation depression. We're going to reach the shoulders to the ears like we're shrugging and asking a question, and then depress the shoulders down. So the shoulders are staying retracted and flat on the mat, but they're sliding up and down the mat. If your ball happens to be on the floor, I can't get there today, you might actually feel that ball moving on the floor, but try to check in from head to toe. Make sure your chin is off the chest. Your ribs are still drawing together, even if that means the arms come higher for 3. And for 2. And for 1, shoulders down and on the mat. From here, bring the arms up towards the ceiling and let's go into some head curls. Make sure your legs are open enough to accommodate the size of your ball. Take a nice big inhale, and as you exhale, nod the chin to the chest, curl up, and as though you're going to place the ball between your thighs is where you aim. And then lower and articulate the spine back down. Try to keep that space under your lower back. Try not to tuck and imprint. I want that booty to stay nice and heavy. And then lower back down. Chin comes to the chest, eyes go to the thighs. Give a little squeeze to that ball on the way up. When you lower down, can you make sure, I'm not doing a very good job, that your ball stops in line with your chest and your shoulder blades are a little bit heavier onto the mat. For 2 more here. 1 more here, curl up and hold. Squeeze that ball for 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold it on 1. Make sure your pelvis isn't tucked. Find neutral and pull the ball to the sternum and push and pull and push. Give it a little squeeze, not too much. Can you make sure your shoulders are down and back? Your rib cage is still on the mat. For 3 and 2, pull pull it in, hover it over the chest on 1. If you need a rest, you can lower the head. Otherwise, we're going to tap one elbow down and then twist, tap the other for a little crisscross and twist. And twist. Now, if you want to add challenge, straighten the arms instead, but try to lift that ball up and over those knees as much as you can, lifting the heart. If you need to, elbows tap instead. For 5 and 4, to even it out, press the feet even for 3 and 2. Even it out on 1, come through the center. Bring that ball between the inner thighs. Reach the arms out and lower all the way down. Arms go back for a nice big stretch through those abs. From here, bring the legs to tabletop position. The arms are going to come back down by your side. The toes can touch together if you need a little bit of extra support, if this feels uncomfortable. Otherwise, look up for a second and make sure you can't see your feet. They're hiding behind your knees, okay? Let the toes come up and point them. From here, let's just take a couple toe taps to make sure that our pelvis is still nice and neutral. If you happen to be able to bring your toes to the floor without arching the back, then you go right ahead. Otherwise, you only stay at the range of motion that your body allows. As you go up and down, try to squeeze that ball so it doesn't rock from side to side. Roll the shoulders back for 3. Exhale, pull the legs up. For 2, inhale down. Exhale, scoop the belly. 1 more here, bring the legs to tabletop and hold. Arms go up towards the ceiling with a nice big inhale. Exhale, curl up and pump for the 100. In for 5 and out for 5. Nice big pumps. Keep the ball steady with a squeeze. I don't want you to pulse those legs. At any point in time you need to change your feet, just touch those feet together. If you want to add challenge, you can extend the legs up towards the ceiling. You can even keep the feet together and extend the legs up. You're just going to have like a little diamond shape instead. From there, if it's in your practice without arching the back, you can lower the legs. I don't know if that's in my practice today. Take a nice big inhale. Exhale out for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. And as you exhale out, try to lift your heart to the ball. Your head will follow what your sternum does. 1 more breath. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale out. Every last drop of air. Hold. Bend the knees into table. Grab the ball and place it in your ankles. Arms reach back out like you're doing the 100. And then lower the spine to the mat. From here, you're going to bring the legs out long on the mat space. Okay, whatever you got to do to get there. Give yourself a little extra space. And without using your hands, I want you to bring your left leg on top of the ball and have your right foot on the floor next to the ball but not touching it. Your legs should still be in line with your hips. If you have to curl up for a second to look, go ahead and do that. From here, we're going to single leg circles, so try to keep the left foot flexed as the right foot points. You can draw it straight up towards the ceiling or hug it in first, but take it up. Externally rotate, and you know what to do. Inhale, cross, exhale, up, around, stop. Inhale, cross, exhale, up, around, stop. Now today the size of your circle is only as big as you can keep your ball steady. If your ball isn't wiggling, you can take that circle a little bit bigger. Give me 2 more here, making sure each circle is its own entity. It's a period at the top of the sentence. 1 more here, and we reverse. Let's flex the foot this time to stretch the hamstring. Open, down, around, and up. Pretend you're reaching the heel and smearing paint on your ceiling. Roll the shoulders back and down for 3. Exhale, bring it up. Scoop the belly, 2. And on 1, bring that leg up and hold. Turn it back into a parallel position. Point a flex a few times for 3. And 2. And 1 with a flexed foot, if you can, without arching your back. Lower a straight leg down and try to imagine you're reaching your right leg past your ball. Once it lowers down, keep it right next to the ball but not touching. We're going to go into roll-ups. Arms up towards the ceiling, keeping the left foot on the ball. If you need a reprieve, you bend the knees, but try to keep 1 foot on the ball. Okay? From here, the first one's the hardest of the day. Don't judge yourself, but try to roll your spine up and off the mat. Round over, ears between the arms, and then scoop the belly and roll back. As you're rolling back, watch that ball. I want you to try to smush the ball and don't let it rock from side to side. Inhale here. Exhale to curl up and over. Eyes to the knees first. Then as you roll down, shoulders to press, and you look towards the left foot, making sure it's steady. We're going to do 2 more with the leg on this ball. Inhale, exhale, come up. Try to keep those feet flexed. Get a nice little stretch through the hamstring. Exhale, roll down bone by bone. Try to make sure both sides of the back touch the mat at the same time. Last one here, take a big inhale, exhale, curl up, 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 up. And then grabbing onto the toes for a little extra stretch for 3. Ears between arms, 2. And on 1, reaching the arms back out and then rolling the spine down, 1, vertebrae at a time. Let's switch the legs. Without using your hands or your eyes, try to bring that ball over to the right, positioning your left foot right next to it but not touching, and then glance up. Make sure your legs are not off to the side. You got to make sure that ball rolls so your legs are in line with your hips. From here, same thing, but if you want to add a little bit more challenge, take the arms by the ears as you come up. Unfortunately, that's not my practice today, but if it isn't yours, please take it. Otherwise, arms stay forward as you come up and over. We all end in this position, but if you're going to keep your arms by your ears when you roll back, this is where your arms stay. If not, it's not me today. Roll the spine down one vertebrae at a time. I had teacher training this weekend virtually, and I had to do every single TRX exercise, every single bar exercise, and all the trigger point exercises, so I'm tired. Let's do 2 more just like this. If you're tired or you're feeling something in your back you're not a fan of, then go ahead and soften the knees as you come up. But make sure that you're still flexing the feet and reaching away. Grab the toes as you're up there, and then we're going to roll back down for single leg circle on the other side. Arms reach forward and then articulate the spine down to the mat. Bringing the arms by the side, take your left foot pointed up to the ceiling and in external rotation for single leg circle here. One side is going to feel a little bit sturdier than the other. I don't care if this circle is like, I don't know, 2 inches and your other one was 200 inches. You're basing it today on what's happening with your right leg. Keeping the foot flexed on that ball, try not to let it rock. This is my wiggly side. Let's do 2 more just like this, stopping the circle at the top. 1 more here, stop it to reverse, flexing the foot. Open the leg to come up and around. When you go around, squeeze the inner thighs like you're starting a fire before you stop your leg at the top. Roll the shoulders back, reach the arms longer, check in with your upper body. 2 more here, inhale, start, exhale to finish, scoop the belly. Inhale, start, exhale, come up, finish, hold. Turn it back parallel, point and flex your feet. For 5, 4, 3, 2, flex your foot on 1, and then lower your leg all the way down to the mat, reaching your left leg as far past the ball as you think you can. From here, without using your eyes or your hands, bring that ball between your ankle bones or between your feet somehow. If you need to glance up once you think you're there, go ahead.